My sister told me she didn't want bridesmaids, said it was too stressful, too expensive. I believed her until the morning of the wedding when I found the hidden guest list and realized the color she told me to wear was the same as the staff's uniform. Before we begin, please like, subscribe, and tell us where you're watching from. Let's all be internet friends. She said it was about simplicity. No bridal party, no matching gowns, no maid of honor, just candles, live music, and everyone feeling close. Olivia always had a way of sounding reasonable. That tone, confident, polished, unshakable. She said she didn't want to rank friendships or make anyone feel left out. Said the energy would be better with everyone on the same level. I nodded. I believed her. We were standing in her kitchen, invitations still in their envelopes. She handed me a pen to write out the addresses, like we were 14 again, passing notes in our shared room. I just want it to feel peaceful, she said. Of course, I replied. She tapped her phone. No colors, no theme, I'm not into the aesthetic wedding thing. I smiled. I think that's beautiful. She paused. Except maybe for the dress code, just for balance, I'm thinking muted tones, soft. Classy, for you maybe champagne. I laughed. Champagne. Yeah, floor length, no sparkle, just elegant. I nodded again, wrote it down, already thinking of where to shop. She moved on to caterers. I stayed at the table, organizing RSVP cards by date. She ordered us salads and sat across from me, listing vendors. I typed notes. No one else was helping yet, just me, and I was happy to do it. I respected it. The no bridesmaids thing. The simplicity. I even defended it when our cousin Jasmine raised an eyebrow and said, "Really? No bridal party? That's new for her." Olivia said it was about peace. I believed her. I repeated it like a mantra every time someone asked. She wants low stress. She's doing it differently. I helped pick the venue. It was her third choice, but we made it work. She showed me inspiration boards late at night, flipping through screenshots while half watching TV. I offered feedback. Not too much, just enough. We went dress shopping together, just the two of us. She found her gown in under an hour. No tears, she said. That's not my style. I smiled and zipped her up. A week later, she texted me about the dress code again. Just a reminder, champagne, floor length, minimal jewelry, hair up if you can. Clean. Got it, I replied. I started searching that same night. Found a sleek satin option that didn't scream bridal but still felt special. Sent her a picture. Perfect, she texted. I offered to help with centerpieces, with RSVP tracking, with the table plan. She said she had it covered. Still, I came over weekly, helped stuff envelopes, reviewed the playlist, handled pickups when her schedule clashed. Every time I asked if she needed anything, she said, "Just you showing up is enough." And I did, every time. I thought we were closer than ever, sitting at her kitchen table again, laughing at flower girl dress fails, splitting snacks while she stressed over chair rentals. It felt familiar, easy, but something sat underneath. Small things. She called me type A when I offered to make a checklist, said it like an insult, not a compliment, rolled her eyes when I corrected the spelling on her menu mock-up, told me to relax when I reminded her about guest dietary notes. I brushed it off. We had history, real history. We grew up whispering secrets between twin beds. She used to hold my hand during thunderstorms. I used to cover for her when she snuck out. We shared prom dresses, covered each other's bruises when our parents fought. As adults, the bond shifted. I went to college, she didn't. She stayed home, I moved 3 states away. But we called, we visited, we sent birthday gifts. Still, every time I visited, I felt her measuring me. When I mentioned a promotion, she smiled too tight. When I joked about my tiny apartment, she said, "Yeah, well, at least you get to leave." The tension was never loud, just a hum beneath everything. But I never thought it meant anything real. Never thought it was anything more than the usual push and pull of siblings. I thought we were fine. I thought she wanted me there. I thought she meant it when she said I was her only constant. The night before the wedding, she was distant. Everyone said it was nerves. I said it too. We were at the rehearsal dinner, tucked into a cozy little hall with string lights and buffet trays. Olivia floated from table to table like a pageant winner, laughing, glowing, holding a wine glass like it was part of the outfit. I tried to catch her alone twice. Once to ask about the hair schedule, once just to say goodnight. She smiled both times but didn't stop walking. "It's just nerves," her fiancé said when I mentioned it. "She's overwhelmed." I believed him. I found a table near the back with a few mutual friends. I sat beside Jasmine and joked about the playlist. She laughed but didn't really engage. The others were busy talking about their dresses, their roles, their toasts. "Wait," I asked, "are you all speaking tomorrow?" One of them nodded. "Just a quick thing. Olivia asked us last week." I blinked. Oh, I didn't know. They paused, looked at each other, said nothing. I excused myself early. Olivia caught me on my way out, kissed my cheek, said, "Thank you for being chill. I knew you'd get it." I nodded. She smiled, wide and polished. "Tomorrow's going to be perfect." I told her it would. Then walked to my car, the unease pressing against my ribs like a seatbelt too tight. I arrived early the morning of the wedding. I had coffee in one hand and backup hairpins in the other. Olivia always forgot something. I wanted to be the one who didn't. The bridal suite door was slightly open. I knocked lightly, then pushed through. She wasn't there. Instead, 3 of her friends were inside, half-dressed, curling irons humming, bags spilling open. One of them, Mia, glanced up, startled. "Oh, you're early." I smiled. Thought I'd help set up. Mia bent over quickly and closed a binder that was open on the makeup table. She slid it under her purse, fast, like it wasn't meant to be seen. I raised an eyebrow. "All good." "Yeah," she said. "Just going over the run-of show. You know how Liv is." I nodded, but my eyes stayed on the corner of the binder still peeking out. A post-it stuck to the edge, scribbled with names. Familiar ones. I set the coffees down, found an open spot on the bench. No one offered conversation. The air buzzed with too much energy, but none of it came toward me. "I can steam dresses," I offered. Mia smiled tight. "Already done." I glanced at the rack. 4 gowns, all rose-colored, all identical, not champagne. Olivia walked in 5 minutes later, laughing into her phone. She saw me, paused, then smiled like I was part of the furniture. "Thanks for the coffee," she said, then she turned to the others. "Let's start touch-ups." The binder fell open when Mia bumped the table, reaching for a lipstick. It hit the floor hard, pages spilling out like a deck of cards. A few loose sheets skidded across the tile. I bent down automatically, collecting them. She crouched too fast, but not fast enough. One page was a guest list, printed in columns. I scanned it before she could grab it. Bridal party tier 1. Jasmine, Mia, Lauren, Rachel, Danielle, my name wasn't there. Another page caught my eye, itinerary. Labeled, bridal circle schedule, hair at 8 o'clock, photos at 9:30. Champagne toast at 10:00. Group prayer at 10:15, no mention of me. Mia tugged the pages from my hand. "Sorry, that's not the final list, it's just a rough draft." I nodded slowly. "Right." She shoved the binder closed, placed it back on the table like it had never moved. I stood. Olivia didn't look over. She was facing the mirror, smiling while someone adjusted her lashes. I stepped back slowly. No one stopped me. No one called after me. As I reached the door, I looked again at the rack of dresses. 5 of them, all rose. The 6th hanger was empty. I checked my phone, opened our texts. Champagne, floor-length, minimal jewelry, hair up. Clean, her words, her instruction. I exhaled, then I walked out of the room without a sound. I kept flipping. Outside the suite, I stepped into a hallway corner and opened the binder fully. No one stopped me. They were too busy laughing, music playing low behind the door. One sheet was a seating chart. Table 6, labeled overflow, tucked near the kitchen entrance, not near the dance floor. I scanned the names. Mine was there, no +1. A small note next to it. Staff will direct guests to remaining seating, minimal visibility. I flipped again, there were diagrams, a map of the venue, highlighted zones, bridal party tables marked in pink, family tables in gold, overflow in gray, next to mine, G. Dawson. Just G, not Grace, not sister of the bride. I flipped to a checklist. Tier 1 bridesmaids confirmed. Tier 2 group photo only. Staff wardrobe notes. See swatches. My stomach clenched. I slid the binder into my tote, hands shaking but careful. No ripping, no panic, just slow pages turning. Back in the room, Olivia was laughing again, her head tilted, her back to the door. She hadn't looked for me once. I returned the binder, placed it exactly where it had been. Mia didn't notice. None of them did, then I walked out again. This time, I didn't come back. I stepped into the hallway bathroom and locked the door behind me. Pulled out the last page I'd grabbed, the one labeled dress code staff plus GUESDS. 3 columns. Champagne event staff. Rose bridal circle. Emerald general guests. No 4th column. No exceptions. Champagne wasn't a guest color. It wasn't neutral. It was uniform. I looked down at my dress. Floor-length satin, exactly what she told me to buy. No shimmer. No jewelry. Hair pinned up. Exactly as she'd requested. I remembered asking twice if the color worked. She said perfect. I folded the page and sat on the closed toilet lid. The tile beneath my feet felt colder than it should have been. I thought about the rack of dresses, identical rose gowns. I remembered Olivia's texts. Clean, minimal, soft, you'll blend perfectly. She wasn't lying, I'd blend right into the staff. No spotlight, no toast, no seat near the front. I wasn't overlooked, I was placed. I messaged my best friend. Can I call you? 3 dots then, always. I hit dial. When she answered, I whispered, I think Olivia didn't just forget me. I think she planned it. There was a pause, then she said, then don't disappear. I sat still for a moment, then stood, fixed my dress, and unlocked the door. I walked into the venue quietly. No entrance music, no welcome hugs, no one waiting. The bridal suite was buzzing now. Laughter, shuffling, hairspray clouds, and clinking glasses. I stepped just inside. They didn't see me at first. Then Jasmine turned, her face lit up, bright and polite. You made it. Like I was late, like I hadn't helped plan half the guest list. Olivia stood by the mirror in her gown. Perfect fit, rose gold shimmer along the bodice. Hair twisted like a magazine cover. She looked at me, smiled like I was a wedding vendor, then said, You look lovely. I nodded. She added, Thanks for understanding the vibe thing. Then turned away. Lauren asked if someone could grab the emergency kit. Mia handed her a makeup brush. Jasmine pulled out bobby pins. Everyone moved around me like I wasn't part of the choreography. I backed toward the wall. No one followed. The photographer clapped her hands. Okay, ladies, circle up for the pre-walk photos. They all gathered. I wasn't called. I left the room before the shutter clicked. Walked the halls until I found a folding chair near the back of the venue. Sat down, smoothed the front of my champagne dress. From where I sat, I could see them through the glass. Giggling, toasting, posing. She hadn't cut out bridesmaids. She'd cut out me. The ceremony started at 4 o'clock. I took my seat 10 minutes early, table 6, just as the chart said, near the kitchen. Close enough to hear trays being stacked and servers whispering names. I kept my eyes forward. The music swelled. Guests rose. Olivia walked in, radiant, arm linked with our father. Her bouquet was massive, her smile even bigger. Everyone gasped, then applauded softly. I didn't clap. The officiant opened with a story about Olivia's beautiful, generous spirit and her unshakable bond with the women who have walked beside her. Then he motioned to the row of bridesmaids, all 5 in matching rows. The crowd turned, smiled, admired. I stayed seated. A woman beside me leaned in and whispered, Aren't you her sister? I nodded once. She blinked. Why aren't you? I'm fine, I said. Olivia recited her vows like a rehearsed poem. Her voice never trembled. Her hand never faltered. The groom cried. She didn't. The bridesmaids handed her tissues. I watched from the edge, my view partly blocked by a staff cart. When the rings were exchanged, I saw Jasmine squeeze Olivia's hand. Saw Mia wipe under Olivia's eye, not to fix tears, but smudged mascara. When the kiss landed, everyone stood. I stayed seated. No one noticed. Except the woman beside me. She didn't say anything else. She just looked away. One of them saw me at the reception, Lauren, I think, and waved like I was a guest arriving late to something I wasn't invited to. You made it, she said, loud, cheerful, like we were friends. I didn't answer. My seat was still near the kitchen. A server nearly collided with me carrying trays of plated lamb. I stepped aside. She glanced at my dress, nodded briefly, then said, We're starting with table service on the left. You know the order. I blinked. I'm not. Oh, sorry, the dress. You look exactly like never mind. She walked off. Another guest, an older man I didn't recognize, tapped my shoulder. handed me his empty glass. "Can I get a refill of this?" I stared at it, he waited, then looked confused. "Aren't you?" I didn't take the glass. He mumbled something and walked off. I pulled my hair loose from the clip Olivia told me to use, let it fall around my shoulders, untucked the dress hem from my heels, tried to look less like I belonged behind a tray. Didn't work. A woman carrying desserts stopped and asked, "Where do you want these?" I stared at her, she apologized and rushed off. I found the restroom, locked the door, sat on the counter, not crying, not yet, just quiet, listening to the sound of celebration humming through the vents. I found Olivia near the photo booth, alone for once, adjusting her dress, fixing a flyaway. She saw me coming, looked straight at me, didn't smile. I stopped a foot away. "You didn't forget me, you erased me." She didn't flinch. I saw the binder, the chart, the dress code. "You told me champagne because it matched the staff." She tilted her head. "You're making a scene." "There's no scene," I said. "Not yet." She stepped closer. "You always made things about you, always the voice in the room, the one people noticed." I blinked. What? This was my day. I didn't want competition. I didn't want commentary. I didn't want to feel like I had to perform next to you. "You could have just said that." She smirked and ruined the piece. I stared at her, really stared. Her makeup perfect, her posture regal, her smile too calm. "This wasn't about keeping it simple," I said. "No," she replied. "It was about keeping it peaceful for me. And humiliating for me." She shrugged. "That wasn't the goal, but if that's what it took." She didn't finish, I didn't move. Someone called her name, she looked past me. "I need to go cut the cake." "Of course," I said. She turned and walked away. I stood there, surrounded by rose gowns and laughter, and knew for certain it had never been about simplicity. I stayed for one more hour, long enough to make them uncomfortable. Staff kept confusing me for one of their own. A woman with a tray asked if I'd be rotating with the back bar. A guy in a headset asked if I'd seen the dessert cart. A guest gestured toward a dropped napkin like I was supposed to fetch it. I didn't correct all of them. The real servers were kind. One whispered, "Sorry they did this to you," when she passed me a glass of water without asking. She didn't say more, she didn't need to. At the buffet, someone tried handing me their plate. I took it, set it back on the table beside them, didn't speak, didn't smile. Guests started noticing, not all at once, just glances. Quiet whispers, puzzled looks. One asked if I was Olivia's cousin. Another asked why I wasn't in any of the group photos. "Just here to help," I said. Olivia never looked my way. The bridal party laughed over champagne, group hugs, back-to-back selfies. I stood beside the entrance and watched. My phone buzzed, a text from my best friend. "You good?" I typed. She told me it was about peace, but she just wanted to stand alone. She replied, and now she does. I left without saying goodbye. Her photographer messaged me 3 days later. "Hi, Grace. I hope it's okay, I'm reaching out. I wanted to say something." I paused before opening the rest. She continued, "I was at the venue early. I saw you. I saw the dress. I saw how no one acknowledged you. I thought maybe I misunderstood. But then I asked Olivia if you were the sister. She said, she's not part of the shoot. She didn't even give me your name. I never do this, but I walked. I left halfway through the reception. I told her I was done. I've never quit mid-event before. You weren't invisible, Grace. They just tried to make you so." I stared at the message for a long time. Then I wrote back, "Thank you for seeing me." She replied, "They'll have the photos, but not the truth." I didn't respond, just sat there reading it again. The photographer didn't know me, didn't owe me anything. But she saw what none of them would say out loud. Not even Olivia. The photos started surfacing by the end of the week, perfectly filtered shots. Olivia in the center, bridesmaids flanked beside her like petals around a bloom. Laughter caught midair, dresses gleaming rose, everything coordinated, everything curated. I scrolled in silence. Group photos, reception dances, the toast, all of them smiling, all of them together. I wasn't in a single frame. I hadn't been asked to be, but the comments came in fast. "Where's your sister? Did Grace take this one? Thought you two were close. No Grace. No family shots." Olivia started deleting them. One by one, the questions vanished. Then came a post of the bouquet toss. She captioned it, "Surrounded by the women who know me best." Another comment appeared, This feels personal. Where's your actual family? It disappeared in under 5 minutes. I took a screenshot before it did. They didn't tag me in anything, not even the behind-the-scenes reels. I didn't post anything either, except one story, a close-up of my champagne dress. No caption, no context, just the fabric. The hem, the color she chose. It got 20 replies, all from people who already knew. Her photographer reached out after. Said she'd quit. The message came through Instagram. Short, direct, high grace. I know this is unexpected, but I wanted to reach out. I was the photographer at Olivia's wedding. I left halfway through. I stared at the screen, not sure what she meant. She continued, I've never done that before, but I was uncomfortable. I asked about you. Someone said you were the bride's sister, but weren't involved. That didn't sit right. Then I saw the seating chart, the colors, the way people avoided you. I asked Olivia directly. She said you weren't part of the shot list. I left after that. I couldn't pretend it was normal. I replied, thank you, you didn't have to say anything. She wrote back once more, you weren't invisible. They just tried to make you feel that way. I saved the messages, not to revisit, just to know someone saw it. Someone who wasn't paid to pretend. Photos started surfacing. With captions that told the truth, they showed up in batches. Olivia's carefully curated gallery. The bridal circle in rows, the table spreads, the floral arch, dozens of group shots. I wasn't in any of them, not even the wide angles. People started noticing. Where's your sister? Grace isn't tagged. Wait, no sibling photo. Olivia deleted every comment that asked, then locked the post. But screenshots traveled faster. Someone sent me one. Surrounded by the women who have shaped my life. Underneath, a comment, so your sister didn't count. It disappeared in minutes. I posted one picture. The dress, framed, no caption, it was enough. My mom called weeks later. Her voice was too light at first, like nothing had happened. I just wanted to check in. You've been quiet. I've been fine, I said. She hesitated. Olivia said you left early. I stayed long enough. She said you were upset. I didn't answer. She cleared her throat. Grace, it was her day. I said nothing. She didn't want drama. She was trying to keep things simple. She lied, I said. She had bridesmaids. She made a chart. She put me in the same color as the staff. She sat me by the kitchen. Silence, I found the binder, Mom. Still nothing. She didn't forget me. She cut me out. There was a long pause. Then she said, maybe Olivia needed this more than you did. My hand tightened around the phone. She's always felt in your shadow, she added. Maybe she just wanted one day that was hers. I hung up, not out of anger, not in a rush, just a quiet decision. I placed the phone on the table and stared at the blank wall ahead of me. Then I opened a drawer, pulled out the dress, and folded it slowly across my lap. Not ruined, just remembered. I got the dress framed 2 weeks later, not as a tribute, not to hold on to something lost, but to remember what it cost to be erased and still not vanish. The tailor folded it carefully, pressed it into shadowbox glass, laid the champagne fabric against a matte black backing. It looked elegant, clean, like it belonged in a museum. I hung it in my new apartment, right by the entryway, not hidden, not elevated, just visible. Beneath the frame, I added a plaque, simple engraving. For the girl who refused to disappear. Visitors ask about it sometimes. I tell them it's a story I lived through. No rage, no bitterness, just clarity. I still don't hear from Olivia. My mom hasn't called again. The cousins are quiet. Mutual friends unfollowed me one by one. I'm not sad. I remember the way Olivia smiled while I stood in staff colors. The way she thanked me without meaning it. The way she called it peace and meant silence. Now I walk past the frame every morning. It reminds me I showed up. I stood still. I watched it all unfold. And I didn't scream or burn it down. I just walked out and didn't let them take me with it. Thank you for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I love you all.